A couple hundred years ago, the only thing you had to worry about was a hangover.
You're telling me you're an investigator?
More or less.
Today, because of your curse thingy, you can't sleep with anyone.
We're not a team. I'm your boss.
Or else you might feel a moment of true happiness,
You got a real addiction to the brooding part of life.
lose your soul,
Except for the bulk of it, where I was nearly tortured to death.
become evil again,
You're a demon hunter.
Road demon hunt.
and kill everyone.
It's fucking fantastic.
I love that sound.
Thanks, Cornelia. I always appreciate your perspective.
I had bottle opener dysfunction.
You always have bottle opener dysfunction.
Never happens to me, babe.
That never happens to me, baby, I swear. Except when it happens. Happens to the best of us. I don't forgive you.
I haven't actually had ginger beer much lately.
Since the last recording?
Yeah.
Sounds about right. It's not cheap.
No,
The
it's
good
not.
shit
It's
anyway.
not cheap, and we're broke. So
It's like $6 for a pack of 4.
yeah. Anyway, welcome to AwA with Angel. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
Today's episode, we're reviewing That Old Gang of Mine, Season 3, Episode 3.
3 and 3.
Yes.
Rule of threes. 3's a good number.
Is it really?
Yeah. Actually, it's the magic number in theater.
Oh, in theater?
In theater.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's a thing. I promise. I'm not going to get into it, though. You know what I am going to get into, Rex?
What's that?
Fucking a doodle-doo.
Really? Here?
Yeah,
That's
it's kind of
that's not sanitary.
kind of inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's much more unsanitary than it is appropriate. You're right. That's the main concern here. Excuse me. You got doodle-doo jizz all over my hamburger. I'm sorry. I thought that was mayo. Yep. Welcome.
Oh, God.
Welcome to AwA with Angel. Get on the school bus, ride the short bus back to your middle school. Check it out because you're going to feel like you're there. That's how we do.
You should not use the term short bus.
Oh, yeah, that's probably not cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. Get on the long bus. Everybody get on the
school bus.
Get on the equal rights bus.
Get on the school bus. Just call it a school bus.
Fine. Get on the politically correct school bus. Let's not be ableist today. My apologies. Like, actually. But yeah, we have this thing called executive doodle-doos. They're something like producers.
Yeah.
Because they give us money.
Yeah.
And they knock on our doors. They come to our houses in the middle of the night. And they hold weapons to our throats. And they say, you're going to do this on this episode. Or I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you so bad. You're going to wish I had not cut you so bad. And I'm like, okay. Fuck, a doodle-doo. And they're like, that's right. That's right. And they back away slowly. And then I wake up in a cold sweat. And I go, fuck a doodle-doo.
All I can think of is the giant chicken from Family Guy.
Who could have possibly been responsible for this break-in in my dream? Was it Bridget McCloy? Or Dead Serious? Callista? Allie B, Nathan Lancy, Dulcinea, Rachel Gregory, Rachel Doodle-Doo, D. Sheringhausen, Clubby, The Seal, Mr. Talbalicious, Sandra Craig, Jay Sommer, Christina, Catherine Parkinson, Karen Moon, Chris V-Man, Pat Likes Turtles, Scarlett Choi, bad at changing their name heaps, K-Fro Horse Dildo with a BWB logo gnome, Father Defenestrato, Kelly MC, Jesse Rain, Alex from the Heart, or was it Carrie Phillips? Who done it?
Thank you so much. Without you, this show literally is not possible.
But I'd get a whole lot more sleep.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You have the worst sleep cycle of almost anyone I've ever met.
It's almost non-existent. Actually, I think I found it again. It's just,
oh, really?
It's just really inconvenient. It's like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Oof.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all.
No,
but
there's no avenue that's okay.
Except working hard second shift or third shift.
Yeah. You could do it working second shift. Third shift really wouldn't work. because you'd likely be like getting home right when you need to go to
right around
sleep,
6 or
and
7.
then that would fuck you.
I tend to fall asleep right after I get home from work at 5 p.m. anyway,
Oh,
because
really?
I'm so exhausted from having had to work a first shift.
I can never fall asleep right when I get. It doesn't matter how tired I am. If I get home from work, I need hours to fucking wind down.
Well, I'm fucked either way. But anyway, so we did get a couple of voicemails. The only one we're actually going to talk about today is from Pat Likes Turtles. The other one's from Callista. We're going to get you next episode because it's much more relevant to next episode.
Yeah, you kind of jumped ahead of the game there.
That's all right. Just being punctual.
Yeah.
And thank you for the very first thing you said was the title of the episode, so we knew where to put it.
Yes, we were very grateful for that.
But yeah, we haven't watched that yet, so spoilers. But anyway, Pat Likes Turtles got a hold of us, and so did 3 other people.
Yeah, on multiple different avenues.
Yeah, I was like, shit, I deserve this. I did this to myself by giving people so many different places to contact us.
I forgot that you even said to contact us about that. So I was like, man, we really hit a nerve.
No, I asked for information and people delivered. We specifically wanted to know why Spike was being so hard on himself about not being able to protect Dawn. Neither of us could remember what the hell happened, and the answer was much simpler than I thought.
Yeah.
It was, in fact, when he's up on top of the tower and the lizard dude, demon, the lizard wizard, as I've dubbed him, pushes him off the tower and cuts Dawn and opens the portal.
Yeah.
And okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, and I did not remember that at all till it was brought up.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's so much shit going on. Everything starts melting together eventually. I mean, I still don't 100% agree with Spike getting down on himself about that.
Oh, no.
So he got overpowered.
No.
It's not
Yeah.
a moral failing.
Right.
Quit being a little dick.
He's treating it like a moral fail.
He is. Yeah. It's really
He's treating
obnoxious.
it like he retreated.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you were literally thrown off a tower, dude.
Thrown from the top of a tower that killed the Slayer.
And like, it's not like you weren't gonna get up and try and get back up there as quickly as you could. It's just, shit happened too fast.
Yeah. It's
Take
fine.
it easy, man.
Everything worked
Take
out
it
fine.
easy. Yeah.
Everything's
It's
fine.
all fine. Sure, Buffy died, but she's back. It's great.
Yeah, but it was what she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway, on to the mom synopsis.
Joshua, what are you doing, Joshua? Oh, just trying to sing some fucking karaoke if people would just stop That's nice, Joshua. Are you feeling safe these days? Well, do you mean like safe internally or on the... That's nice, Joshua. How's your anxiety? My anxiety's great and not a problem at all. Thanks for asking. Oh my God, did you just hear gunshots, Joshua? Fucking gunshots? Shit. What? Fucking where? No. Are you sure it wasn't fireworks? Oh, you're too easy of a target, Joshua. Did you know that only people with a guilty conscience are startled by loud noises? I'd make a loud noise to test that theory, but I don't think you suffer from guilt at all. Oh, you know your mother so well, Joshua. Also, people are probably driving when they listen to this, so... What do you mean when people listen to this? Are you recording me, Joshua? It's funny you should ask that. Hello, everyone out there. Don't believe everything you hear about me. I'm a very good mother and always good all of the time. No one can hear you, Mom. I'm not recording you. God, you're so paranoid. You'd better not be. If I find out you're lying to me, I'll fire you. Fire me? From what? Being your son? That's fine. I quit that job years ago. It wasn't very quiet, Joshua. Sheesh, don't bite my head off. Because today on Angel, Merle gets murdered. And right after Angel tries to apologize to him, but not very well, Gunn couldn't care less because he was just a demon. Totally happenstancically, Gunn is checking up on his old demon slaying gang and butts heads with one of the new members. As Wesley and Angel continue to investigate a string of seemingly unrelated and random demon deaths, Gunn suspects and quickly confirms that his gang is responsible. Gunn, however, withholds his suspicions at first, and by the time he is ready to tell Wesley, while Cordelia and Fred are having a nice night out at Caritas to help Fred along on her healing journey, Gunn's old gang drops in and shoots down half the crowd. New guy from the gang, Geo, demands that Cordelia go retrieve Angel so he can force Gunn to prove he's not a demon lover by killing him. Gunn refuses. They fight! And luckily Angel thought ahead of time and had the sanctuary spell removed just in the nick of time so demons could fight back. The gang tucks tail and runs home after Geo gets his head literally bitten off. Wesley and Angel each share important words with Gunn. The end.
Ladies, gentlemen, spiny-headed looking creatures. As soon as the sun goes down, as soon as the sun goes down, vampire. Competition is a beautiful thing.
I'm sorry, but the little like I quiet quit that slid in there so subtle, and that fucking floored me, man.
Excellent. I always shoot for at least one thing.
No, that was good.
Splendid. Well, cold open on Caritas.
Or as we like to say, Caritas.
I mean, we're in and out of there all day, so let's just get that one out of the way.
We just right up front. Right up front, hit that note.
Damn
We're good.
right.
We got it.
Ding. Done. So we start off with a close-up of Angel being all, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but
It's not that bad.
it's not that bad.
Like,
Well-
he actually seems a little sincere. It's just he's also reading from note cards.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that before, but it was on the phone. And I actually cared, and I just didn't want to fuck up what I was saying.
Right.
And also, it was only bullet points. I was still,
Yeah.
I still had to form full sentences on the fly. So
Right.
that counts, right? But anyway, they play it off more like he's talking to either Darla or even Buffy or Cordelia, some shit like that. We don't. It sounds like he's talking to a lover, not to fucking Merle of all people.
It's fucking Merle.
Merle.
Yeah, the whole gang is there in Caritas. It's closed down, but they've convinced Angel to apologize to Merle.
And Merle's not buying it. Rightfully so, really.
Personally, I don't get why.
Why
do
he's-
they care?
Why they care?
Yeah,
Why do they care about Merle's feelings all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that the gang recognizes that Merle was wronged. And
Well, yeah.
and I think it's mostly for the same reason that Angel cares. It's because they still need his information.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what his connections are, that he's got any more information than anybody else. But it stands to reason that they need somebody in the underground that has information, and we just have to accept that that's Merle.
Yeah.
Suspension of disbelief, whether they gave us any evidence or not, it's Merle.
Right.
He's an annoying little tit, but he's got information, and he hasn't done anything to wrong them, other than anything that he'd do to anybody else, and that's turn on them immediately
Yeah.
for money.
Exactly.
So
Like, he has no backbone.
Yeah, he is
That
what he is.
established. Everyone knows that. He'll announce it.
But
It's fine.
That being said, it pisses me off that we're seeing this bully come out of Angel that we
Yeah.
don't really see in him dealing with anybody else. Everybody else that he's ever mean or rude to
Right.
kind of has it coming, really. At least, I mean, give us a call at 269-743-0783 if you disagree.
Right.
I'd love to hear it if there's other people that you think he bullies unnecessarily. But this is easily the biggest case of that we
Yeah.
see. And it seems really out of character
A little bit.
and forced, and
Here's my thing. A man does not live as long as Angel has lived and have as many regrets as Angel has and not know how to fucking apologize.
I mean, if you
And-
get stuck in your ways.
I don't believe it for a second that he couldn't come up with an off the cuff, like really well-rounded apology.
Right. It's for show. It's a storytelling technique for for the layman's out there, oh, he's reading cards, he must be insincere.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you that that's more on Angel's level, that he doesn't need fucking note cards no matter what the case. He's a very well-spoken man.
I can accept that maybe he feels put on the spot. That I think could fuck things up. Mm-hmm. He's not a spotlight sort of guy. Like, that could make sense. But it still just doesn't
Not for speeches anyway.
Right. It still just doesn't quite fit. And you're right, he's being a bully, and that just doesn't fit either.
And he absolutely does know how to make a good apology to Merle, and he just kind of refuses to. Because he does make a good apology to Merle, and then fucks it all up by saying, go ahead, take a swing at me.
Right, yeah.
As the penance.
Yeah, he starts goading Merle into hitting him, which, of course, this sets off... Merle does. He grabs a bottle from the bar to hit him with, and...
there's a big bang flash.
Because there's the like sanctuary spell or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. There's a bigger word, but it's still a derivative of sanctuary.
Yeah. Sanctorum
Sanctorium
or
something.
Something like that.
Yeah, and Lauren gives him the benefit of the doubt. He's like, I'm sure Angel just forgot about the spell. And it's very obvious that Angel's like, yeah, totally forgot. Ha 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 ha. It's like, you didn't fucking forget. You knew that was going to happen. You were being a dick because you still just don't give a shit about Merle, even though he's helped you a lot.
My favorite part, though, is that at this point, Merle's like super pissed off, as he has a right to be in this circumstance. Mm-hmm. And he's just yelling about how he's done with all of them. I don't want to see you, any of you, ever again. But who's going to give me a ride home?
Who's going to give me a ride home, you guys? Like, jeez.
He does have a Shaggy vibe to him.
A little bit, yeah.
He's got that kind of voice to it, like the throaty hoarseness thing going on.
Yeah, the catch. He sounds like a tween who's going through puberty, but he sounds like he's putting it on. It doesn't sound supernatural. Right. It doesn't sound particularly natural.
Right.
It sounds very supernatural because he's a demon.
Yeah.
He does make it difficult to have any amount of respect for him.
No, he really does. And like, he is a backstabbing, spineless, informant who is going to...
He's a little stool pigeon.
He's going to bilk you out of any coin he can.
He does do that too.
Yeah.
And that's really annoying. You know what? Okay, I think we might be answering our own question here. Angel just has no respect for him and therefore has a hard time doing what he knows is right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of right. Doing what he needs to do to get what he wants.
Right.
Anyway. Oh well. Fuck him. Don't have to worry about it for long, especially not after this episode.
We cut to a very short little scene of Gunn dropping him off and fucking burning rubber out of there.
Hope I didn't burn.
I can imagine, though, that the whole fucking drive there, Merle just did not shut up.
Take you too far out of your way. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen that, actually. What do you think Merle would talk about?
Oh God!
What would he drone on about? He's definitely a droner.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
So there's this guy that I owe money, and like, I owe him money, but like, why you gotta be such a hard ass?
For some reason, Merle decides to drone on about like the fucking drama of the English royalty.
So Prince Charles, he's way too old to be the king, but they're doing it anyway. He's definitely. I just sound like Morty now.
Yeah. It would. I can just imagine it would be something like, "What the fuck are you going on about, Merle?"
Gunn's just over there on full autopilot. Yeah. Give us a call at 269-743-0783. What would Merle drone on about?
Yes.
I'd love to hear that.
I want to hear everyone's answers. What would Merle drone on about?
And I want to hear your best Merle impressions.
God, yes. Anyway, we cut real quick into Merle's apartment as he's getting home, and he's attacked.
We get some Merle splattered all over the wall while he's reading his mail. Don't see who done it.
Don't see who done it.
Opening sequence. Meow, 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 meow.
I don't want to share my feelings. I don't want to open up. I want to find the guy that killed Tina, and I want to look him in the eye. Then what? Then I'm going to share my feelings.
Cut to Gunn's bedroom. Gunn wakes up in a cold sweat having a nightmare about
Yeah.
having to kill his sister.
Which, you know, yeah.
Like you do.
I think I'd have nightmares about that too.
Yeah, because, you know, she turned into a vampire, and he didn't feel the need to accept the dark calling. I'd have just been like, well, guess I'm a vampire now too. Let's go.
Yep. And then his pager goes off.
Like he's a fucking doctor.
I mean, they're demon slayers. That's all ours.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a kind of surgeon.
And he
He
agreed.
cuts bodies.
For fuck's sake, he agreed to carry a pager.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be carrying it if he hadn't agreed to it.
I guess. I feel like people used to get pagers because they're like, ooh, this is a great communication device.
I carry one at work.
Is it a great communication device?
Not really.
I didn't think so. Doesn't it just beep and then it gives you a phone number to call?
Now, in the past, they were like you had to call them on the phone, but now pagers get set up with an automated computer system. So you can just punch into a computer, page these people. Or what we have at my work, we monitor a pendant system, so the computer automatically, when a pendant goes off, pages all the pagers. And it's better that than a fucking automated phone call, for fuck's sake.
Okay. Right, but what do you do with it when you get it? How do you know what it's paging you about?
Well, in the pager I have at work, when it pages, it says whose pendant went off and where they're located.
Oh, okay. Handy that. Next day, we're in Merle's lair. Gunn shows up as Wesley and Angel are rummaging through Merle's stuff looking for clues about his death. Gunn doesn't quite get why they're bothering.
No, hold on. Before that, we get this glorious moment. Gunn walks in, sees Angel. There's goo on the wall. Gunn says, "What's that?" Angel says, "That's Merle." Then Gunn looks somewhere else and says, "Where's the rest of him?" And Angel points at the ceiling and points at the corner and points at the other wall. And that's it.
Look.
It's a great moment.
Everywhere. Merle is all around us. All the time. Well, when you're in this room anyway.
Yeah.
And so Gunn doesn't quite get why they're bothering investigating. After all, Merle was just a demon. But you can bet your sweet ass he wouldn't say that about Lorne if he got murdered.
Right.
So, yeah, it bugs me how long it takes Gunn to come around, but there'd be no plot to this episode, I guess, otherwise. I don't know. Correct me. Angel calls out Gunn on his attitude and that maybe he's just annoyed that they interrupted him with something he'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
Gunn takes offense to this and plays the "you're not the boss of me" card. Yeah, well, maybe he's not, but he is.
Yeah, he is, in fact, your boss.
You're still third on the totem pole, buddy.
Yeah.
He's still number one to Wesley's CEO.
Yeah.
He's still the guy that hired you.
Yep.
And
also, honestly, has the most experience in what you got going on.
Right, yeah.
Like...
So Wesley, however, diffuses the situation gracefully and gives Gunn permission to go home if he's not on board with investigating Merle's death. And, he's very gracious about it. He's like, you just go on and go home, and we understand.
At this point, it doesn't feel like it's a big deal that Earl got murdered. Outside of, murder, we need to figure that out. But they don't know that there's other victims.
Well, they feel that there's a personal... It makes perfect sense to me. They feel they have a personal responsibility because they were only just dealing with him.
Right. And,
I would feel that too.
Merle's informed for them.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions. Like, to me, it tracks that they'd want to know who killed Merle because this might be coming towards them.
Yeah, there's a lot of little reasons why it could be important. And again, all anybody ever had to say was, what if it was Lorne?
Right.
And he'd have shut right the fuck up.
Yep.
And sure as shit, later in the episode, he's right there backing up Lorne.
Yep.
But we'll get to that. So he takes Wesley up on his offer to go home and fucks off.
And he doesn't head home. He decides he's going to go to his old stomping grounds where his gang used to live.
Why the hell
still
not?
Does.
And they still do.
It's just not his gang anymore.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but not really.
A little bit.
Certainly not.
This is when it really stops. Like, it's no longer
This is
his
when he
gang.
figures out he's been away from home a little too long.
Yeah. He waltzes right on into the hideout. Apparently they didn't have any guards. Immediately gets jumped by a dude who...
Because they did have guards.
Well, yeah, inside.
Yeah.
Like, this is well into the fucking warehouse.
Should probably stop them before they get that far. Yeah. But hey, at least somebody's stopping them now.
But he gets jumped. He fights back. Ends up getting crossbow bolt pointed at his head. Sounds unpleasant.
He didn't pull the trigger. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a good... it's bonding.
I'd feel less safe about a homemade crossbow being pointed at my head than a gun.
Right? Yeah, but he made it, so he trusts it.
I mean, yeah, fair.
I don't know why he left it there.
Right. That sounds like something you might want.
Possibly. But I guess, he also wants them to be equipped and safe,
Yeah, fair.
so that makes perfect sense. Anyway, this motherfucker with the crossbow, his name is Gio. G-I-O. Yep. The dumbest way you could possibly spell Gio, which is fitting, because fuck this guy.
Yeah. God, I don't like him out of the gate.
Out of the gate. Oh, nobody wants you to like him. And frankly, kudos to the actor. He's such a smarma prick.
Yeah.
I want to slap the shit out of him the whole time.
But yeah, he's a new member of the gang from Miami.
Rondell calls him off while he's holding the arrow straight to Gunn's head. Gunn and Rondell are about to have a happy little reunion, chatting about how well the old gang is doing and how much Gunn has taught them and everything, but Gio completely hijacks this conversation just to hassle Gunn for working with vampires and even insinuates that Gunn himself might be a vampire.
It's not like it's not the middle of the day and he walked right into your fucking place and,
right.
Oh yeah, his truck's parked outside.
Yeah, the amount...
For fuck's sake.
The amount of such sloppy fucking rhetoric that dribbles out of his mouth is disgusting. And nobody challenges him on this.
Right.
Like the whole episode.
Well, and Rondell cuts him off, but he doesn't cut him off to be like, no, fuck you, Gunn's good.
Yeah.
He cuts him off to be like, hey, aren't you supposed to be doing a job of guarding an entrance or some shit?
He pulls rank on him.
Yeah.
Which is probably an easier way to control this guy than logic.
Well, yeah,
He
fair.
doesn't seem like a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all... He actually is kind of slick with the way he gets on Gunn's case. And Gunn sees right through it all.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't see any point in responding. He just stands and stares daggers through him. And that's really all you can do in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, the only time that Gunn really reacts to his bullshit is late in the episode.
I mean, if he was really quick on his feet, fast with the wordy words, could have got a nice debate going.
Yeah.
Could have won it. But when you're dealing with somebody slimy like that, who's out of their element, I don't know. Rondell should have slapped his ass right down to the fucking ground from the get-go.
Yeah.
That's the
also,
real problem.
from a standpoint of like where Rondell's coming from is like this person is undermining you as the leader of the group.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not just undermining Gunn. He's undermining Rondell.
Exactly. And like that sound in your line of work, that sounds unsafe.
Yeah. How about no? Yeah. You need a clear line of command.
Yeah.
When everybody's got weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gio's a big posturing bitch. And huge props to the actor again for making me want to just kick the ever-loving shit out of him the whole time.
You just really want to wipe that grin off his face.
Yeah, it's just like Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't wished a man dead, but I've laughed at a few funerals. And also, I lied just now. I've wished several men dead. Joffrey was one of them. They may have been fictional characters, but...
Hey, well-acted fictional characters that are... No, like, a good villain is a good villain.
Yeah, Gunn just stares, knowing that this is a huge problem he's going to have to handle or walk away from. Either way, cut back to the Hyperion.
Where Angel and Cordy are talking about Fred, and Angel is working to convince Cordy that she should take Fred out. Go out, be friends, have fun.
Take her out. Gotta put her down.
Not like that.
Codename Lassie. Take her to the vet.
I don't know, I think that would be codename Old Yeller.
Oh. Gotta get her out of the equation. Shoot the hostage. No. Take her out for a nice dinner.
Yeah, a nice night out.
Yeah, have
girls'
a drink.
night.
Yeah. Or, just any...
Well, I mean, she's been cooped up in the fucking hotel for 3 months.
3 months, that's a lot.
And
if I don't leave the house for a full day, like the next day I'm like, fuck me, I have to leave.
I can do 2 or 3 days.
Woof.
Depending on what's going on.
That's a lot.
But I also live with my fiance, and like...
I guess.
We interact a lot more than what you likely do with your roommates, I think.
It's not even that. It's just a matter of being in the house, regardless of the amount of interaction.
Well, I guess, yeah, with the years of training you got from living with your mother.
Yeah. Let's not go too deep into that. So, Angel's begging Cordy to go talk to Fred. Cordy makes a good point that she experienced a lot of trauma. It's to be expected that she's going to be a bit of a shut-in for a while, and maybe she just needs time. We see Fred outside staring down and with her arms crossed in one shot, and then they cut back to her and she's laughing hysterically, and Angel's like, what, don't you like her? She's like, oh no, Fred's great, she's sweet and adorable and thinks something that shrub just said is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, she's fucking making up imaginary friends,
right?
Cordelia.
Yeah.
Someone needs to talk to her.
Seriously.
I mean, these are all great arguments for her really needing someone to talk to. And since good therapists are hard to come by anyway, finding one that won't commit her immediately for her story about being stuck in an alternate dimension.
That's very valid with their current situation.
Yeah, that's going to be even more difficult. So I guess Cordelia it is. But also, Lauren.
Yeah.
Lauren's a great therapist.
Exactly.
Fucking A. Angel looks at a list of names that Cordy gave her about possible suspects.
Enemies of Merle list. Mm-hmm. And Angel's name is at the top.
Right at the top, because it's alphabetical.
I love how he starts. He's like, and why is my name at the top of this list? And she just looks at him, Angel, A.
Starts with A. Yeah. Cordy makes a solid argument that it's kind of suspect that he was the one to find Merle's body the only time he ever went to pay him a social visit.
Quote of the day here, though. Mm-hmm. Angel replies, If I killed Merle, would I have brought donuts? And that's a valid point.
Yeah. And that's a great point. All I can imagine now is that, Angel went in there and decided he needed some dipping sauce for his donuts. Merle's wall splatter was looking pretty tasty.
Oh, God. I do wonder what he did with the donuts when he arrived. I really hope that for any of their sake, if he put them in the apartment at all, that nobody ate them. Because
if they were still in the box, I'm sure it's fine.
With the way Merle was literally omnipresent in that apartment, come on, there's no surface that didn't have just a little bit of Merle on it.
No, this is how it went down. He walked in and he said, these donuts are looking kind of dry, Merle. You sure look like you're full of Boston cream. Come on, get over here. Who's my little Boston cream pie? You're tickling me. Jeez, Angel, that's really hard. You're tickling me really hard. Jeez, I didn't know you were so poppable. It was an accident. That's how it went down.
Goodness, Merle, you're just like a water balloon.
Now get in my donut. Now,
I'm uncomfortable with this narrative that we have wrought.
It's not even necessarily impossible based on the one shot that we did get of the Merle splatter. The camera coming towards him while he was reading his mail, that could have been Angel. That was just the start of the tickle fight. He was trying to give him donuts.
That's a long tickle fight.
Angel's a lonely man. This is why he outwardly acts like he hates Merle so much. It's because he's mad at himself and he's ashamed of his weird, gross feelings for Merle. He just really needs to peg some Boston cream. Oh, yeah.
All right. We gotta move on.
All right. You're right.
I can't breathe.
But anyway, it's not a mourning of passing. It's a celebration of life with donuts.
I was hoping for some demon fighting tonight, but I wound up with a delivery job instead. If I come back here on the end of a spatula, I'm expecting some serious workman's comp. I'm just messing with y'all.
Cut to the gang's hideout, I guess. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I just kind of a little woozy.
Oh no, don't do that. Breathe.
Asthma.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Anyway, back to the gang's hideout where Rondell and Gunn have a little talk. And, Rondell does criticize Gunn for disappearing after George died.
A bit.
But he also, is very empathetic about the situation. Because he does explain how, because when Gunn's about to make an excuse for not being there after George died, Rondell cuts him off and is like, no, you were gone after...
Long before George.
Yeah, long before George, after Alana died.
Mm-hmm. His sister, Alana. Was it Alana?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's what it was in the subtitles.
Not too worried about it.
But, yeah, and so they have kind of a nice moment, and you're like, oh, they're still buddies.
Yeah. And Gunn goes into self-pity mode. He's like, the Alana thing brings it out. He's like, what can I even do for you guys if I can't protect my own sister? And Rondell's very supportive, actually. He's like, a lot. And they bond over having started something great together.
Yeah.
They hug. There may have been just a little bit of butt play action.
There was no butt play.
Oh, well, we didn't really get to see it. There's definitely some tonguing, though.
I don't think there was.
All right, well, you don't have a good enough imagination. It was right there, man. Right there.
Why's everything gotta be tonguing to you?
Why you gotta be hating on Gunn? Why don't you want him to get any action? You want him to just be lonely his whole life?
He gets action.
Yeah?
Fred.
What, really? That happens?
Yeah.
Well, and also...
They even hint at it in this episode.
Also Rondell. Just now.
No.
Right now, in this very scene. Whatever. They're friends. They're buds. They're brothers. Blood brothers. I'm stopping there.
Yeah, good call. Moving on.
Cut back to an apartment.
Yeah, somewhere in L.A., Angel and Wesley are checking up on a lead, a demon, or a human. Who knows? Let's kick in a door and find out.
Yeah. They find another slaughtered demon. He was a bookie that Merle owed money to. They decide they're going to need Gunn because whatever's doing this is extremely powerful and super pissed off. Cut to the sewer, where we see a huge demon lumbering through the sewer who sounds like he's breathing all heavy and gross and growly.
No, he just has a big gulp.
Turns around, he's clearly very timid and sucking on a straw in a big gulp.
Yep.
Then Gunn's old gang, led by who else but Geo and was Rondell there?
Yep.
Ah, jeez. And they just murder the shit out of this poor bastard mercilessly as he cries in terror.
Yeah.
Poor kid. Poor little fella. Like, yeah, he looked big and gross, but he was also adorable.
Kinda, yeah. In a gross way.
In a really gross way. Like, kudos to the makeup team.
He kind of looked like a big toe.
A bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt so bad for him. He was clearly harmless.
He had the definition of a baby face.
Yeah.
Where the face is like really tiny in the head.
Yeah.
Because his head was massive.
Yeah.
And his face is tiny.
Yeah. Yeah. So we cut back to the apartment, and Gunn shows up as Wesley puts an arrowhead that looks very familiar into a plastic bag. Remember that close up we got of that crossbow at Gunn's head? How handy was that? So now Gunn again goes around the argument with Wes about why is this important? He was just a demon. Well, fuck, Gunn. If you don't get it by now, then I guess you never will. Or maybe by the end of this episode.
And the thing Wes points out is like he wasn't just a demon; he was fully integrated.
Yeah, those are his exact words.
And most of the people that have been killed were fully integrated demons,
right?
Yeah, there were some bad ones, but you know,
and there are shades of gray in this business, Gunn. And I knew it. Tie him up. It's time for that ass play. 50 Shades of Grey, Rex. And it's time to see if at least 5 of them.
Oh my God, I just thought of an episode title. 50 Shades of Gunn.
Oh dear. Nice. I was going to say I'll settle down now, but just for now.
Yeah.
Just for now. Gunn stuffs some evidence in his pocket. It's the arrowhead. While giggity. While Wesley's looking for
You've infected me.
While Wesley isn't looking, and then he fucks off saying maybe he can rattle some information loose on the streets.
I love the bit where like he pockets the arrowhead and then moments after he's like, you know what? I'm going to help out, guys. I'm going to go just check with some connections and see what I can shake out.
Yeah, I'm on
and
board.
He's like,
I'm happy to be a part of this.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this team. And he leaves. And of course, Angel is like, that's suspicious.
Oh, well, doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. So we cut back to the gang's hideout. And yeah, he just had that little quick exchange with Angel on the way out. He's like, hey.
Right?
It's like, oh, they're not mad at each other anymore. Cool. But they're both really bad with emotions.
They're men.
Yeah, exactly.
Manly men.
They're men in tights. Tights. But not really.
Takes a real man to wear tights.
I'm a lonely, dark, broody loner. I'm a real bastard type. Yeah, those kinds of men. So we're back at the gang's hideout. Gunn brings the arrowhead to Rondell, who laughs it off, not getting it even more than Gunn doesn't get it, that you shouldn't kill innocent, harmless, living things, even if they are demons.
Well, Gunn's angle is like, hey, dude, Geo, I think, is a rogue element here.
Yeah.
And Rondell's like, no, he's not a rogue element. We did that.
We were all there. We're getting shit done, bro.
Yeah. We're murdering left and right.
You should come with us, man. Aren't you proud of us? And it's understandable.
Right.
Like they don't have the nuanced investigatory insight into the underworld like Gunn does.
Yeah, exactly.
From being part of Angel's crew.
And also, this is a moment when things get real kind of freaky and dangerous because they all got guns now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems unwise.
Yeah, you think there's some kind of pun to be had there? Like it's bad that they have guns but not Gunn?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I never quite found it. Never quite clicked for me. But it is annoying keeping the two apart. Gunn takes the gun and they all hold their guns to Gunn, and Gunn gets over the guns, and it's a lot of guns and guns.
Yeah.
Guns. I'm done. Okay.
They're all gray too. Are there 50 of them?
Sure, there are now. Thanks for asking. This has been another episode of 50 Shades of Gunn. Anyway, Gunn, at the very least, now has confirmation that they're the ones behind the murders.
Yep.
Geez. And Gio, of course, has to hassle Gunn on his way out.
Of course.
He's like, he still thinks you're some kind of hero. But we know better than that, right? Gunn doesn't say anything. Yeah, we know better. And man, the shit-eating grin on his face all the time. I just want to kick it off.
I've actually had that exact kind of moment with somebody where they're like, oh, we know better. And then when you don't respond, they're like, yeah, we know better. Like they're fucking hammering in the point.
Wow.
And it's like, you're just really making me feel the necessity of punching your face through a wall more.
Yeah. Oh, he's asking for it.
Oh, yeah.
He wants it. He wants it bad. This is all just foreplay.
Yeah, he just wants a piece of that gun.
Who doesn't? Oh, my God. Cut back to the Hyperion.
Yes.
Wesley notices that one of the evidence bags is missing.
Yeah, and he's good on him for his organization.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like a trained cop or anything, but damn, he's getting the job done.
Well, he's a trained watcher, though.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, but how often do watchers get trained to deal with, like, crime scenes?
Good question. Maybe a lot. Who knows?
Yeah.
But also, I mean, how hard is what cops do?
Detectives... I would say detectives have a hard job, but cops...
You can watch a couple of TV shows and be right up to speed, I'm sure.
That is not how that works.
And this is also a not particularly good procedural crime drama.
No.
So, I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's how Wesley knows what to do. It's because some asshat wrote down that he numbered some bags.
Yeah.
So he numbered some bags. Big deal.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't number that one like the last number in the list.
Oh, yeah, because then...
He'd have never known.
If he hadn't gotten a total, he'd never known. You're right. Angel nudges Cordy to go talk to Fred. Cordy is, how do you say, not graceful about this?
Very awkward.
Sure. Because she sits her down in the courtyard just outside and leads with... Angel wants you to get out. I'm like, Christ on a cracker, Cordy. Come on.
But first, though, before they even sit down, like, she accidentally startles Fred when she walks into the courtyard. But then when Cordy's like, oh, I'm going to sit out here, Fred's like, oh, okay, I'll leave. And, like, starts to go inside. And she's like, no, I came out here to talk to you. Angel wants you to get out.
Wow, what a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and she thinks she means, like, move out of the hotel permanently, as if they didn't have enough space for her. And, like, they didn't practically beg her to stay when she tried to leave with her parents. Come on. You'd think she would have fought it for at least a moment and been a little confused, but she's like, all right, I'll go. I understand.
Right.
Like, wow, low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Jeez, that poor girl. Anyway.
But no, she doesn't want her out of the hotel, so to speak. She just wants her out and about to do karaoke.
Yeah, go be human, have fun. Don't be a weird shut-in. That's bad. Probably. Presumably. Seems likely. She's like, yeah, let's go out together. And Fred comforts herself by thinking, yeah, nobody will even notice me if I'm out with somebody like you around. And Cordy's like, yes, exactly. Wait, no, actually, no, people will definitely notice you because you'll be up on stage in the white hot spotlight. And I'm like, what? Where the fuck are you going with this? I don't know how I didn't immediately figure out what she meant by that.
Right.
But we see later in a like 2 scenes from now. Fred only appears marginally panicked it'll be fine, I'm sure. 100% fine. Absolutely nothing will go wrong. Cut to Gunn.
Yeah. He's parked on the street. He's struggling with the moral dilemma.
He's a broody boy.
He's taking after Angel.
God damn it. Angel, don't you see how broody you made me? My name is Gunn.
I'm your apprentice in brooding.
I'm so broody.
You're not real. Or I'm not real. Somebody here isn't real, and I suspect it's you. So if you're not real, then that means that my head came off back there, and then I'm dead now. Dead.
And, sitting in his truck, being all broody for a minute, and then he returns to the Hyperion, chats with Angel for a
very
moment.
briefly.
Who's starting to think that there might be a pattern to the killings.
Yeah,
and that
the pattern
pattern
is fun.
to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, when murder's involved, a wee bit concerning.
Scary.
Yeah.
Concerning. Good, also good description. And back to Caritas.
Yep, back to Caritas where, oh my God, this moment just fucking cracked me up. Fred is singing Willie Nelson's Crazy.
Oh, was it Willie Nelson?
Yes.
Okay.
She's singing it, and it's at the part where she's basically just repeatedly singing the word crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the table where Cordy and Wes are sitting, and Cordy's like, I swear to God she picked the song herself. And you know what? I love Fred's sense of humor here because she knows she's nuts.
I'm sure she feels nuts.
I know there's no way she didn't know what she was doing when she picked this song.
I like to think so. Yeah. She's a dear sweet girl.
Yes.
We love Fred.
She's fucking precious.
That's a good word. That's a good word. Quick side story. One time I was in a production of Oliver, and the guy playing the Artful Dodger was actually a very popular, well-known community member, but also the most flamingly gay twink you've ever met in your life. And my extremely conservative father and stepmother came to see this show. And specifically, this is about my stepmother. She ran into this guy out in the hallway, I think after the show, and she wanted to talk to him because she could not figure out if he was a man or a woman. And so she wanted a closer look. And I heard this story from both sides. She told me about it, and he told the whole room about it later.
Right.
But he didn't know who she was, and I never told him.
Smart, probably.
And I'm bringing this back around full circle, I swear. She walks up to him and says, and she like puts a hand on his face, and it's like, hello, you were so good. And it's just like just killing time to try and figure out if it's a man or a woman. And all she can think of to say is, so precious, as she touches his face. And then no more words are exchanged. They part ways. Now, to hear the story from his side, backstage, he says, so this fucking woman comes up to me, puts her hand on my face and stares into my eyes and says, so precious. And I'm like, fucking precious this, lady. I mean, you can't see it, but there was a middle finger involved.
Yeah.
and I don't know if I knew as he was telling the story that was my stepmom.
I think it would be funnier to experience it from his perspective first and then find out later it's your stepmom.
That seems likely how it happened. I don't think I would have known. I wouldn't have heard that story from her so quickly. That seems how it went down. But anyway, yeah, precious is the tie-in.
Yeah.
There. Fred is indeed quite precious.
Yes. And not a, flamboyant twink.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Probably not. Seems unlikely. Gunn enters, and Lauren stares him down.
This is when, by the way, we get a moment because Gunn walks in and he sees Fred on the stage singing, and he has a moment where he kind of goes googly-eyed at her.
Oh, okay. I didn't quite catch
This
that.
is one of the first hints where it's like, Gunn's got some feelings going on.
Really? But she ends up with Wes.
Does she?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Gunn dates her or something.
That's possible. Seems likely, but she definitely ends up with Wesley permanently.
Huh. I didn't remember that.
And then the guy that plays Wesley marries Allison Hannigan in real life.
Yeah, I knew that.
Weird. Good for them. They've got kids. They're happy.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Gunn enters. Lauren stares him down. Gunn's begging Lauren not to read him, more like demanding that he doesn't read him. And Lauren's like, sweetie, I wouldn't, but you're a billboard. And he knows that Wesley has questions and Gunn has answers. And he offers...
I said, yeah.
Yeah, and he offers to talk about it. Gunn's trying to work up the courage to go tell Wesley, but it's too late because gunfire breaks out and several demons go splat and ruin Fred's pretty hair.
Yeah, one of them specifically directly in front of her.
Yeah.
Well, back to the room she's going.
Yeah. Oh, my fucking God. That poor girl just can't
Every
catch a break.
goddamn time.
Every time. Well, 3 episodes now, at least.
Yeah.
So it definitely happened last episode. Did something like this happen first episode?
I can't fucking remember anymore.
Hopefully 3rd time's the charm. It's the 3rd episode. Probably the 3rd time.
Yeah.
It happened twice last episode, so
Yep.
there's that. If it only happened last, then it's 3 times. Whatever. Gunn's gang takes out half the demons and vampires in the bar before they start calling for Gunn to come out. Gunn stands up behind the bar, and Rondell is beside himself with Gio's claim that he knows Gunn's been coming here for a while now. Wesley stands up, makes his presence known. Gunn stands between them and Lauren, trying to tell them that he's all right. They get all shitty because Lauren's a demon, obviously.
Right.
Wesley makes the point that he saved Rondell's life not so long ago because Rondell threatens to shoot him, and he's like, "You better make it a killing blow."
The line is, because it's one of my quotes of the day.
There you go.
The line is, "If you don't mind, I'd prefer to clean kill."
There it is.
The last time I was merely wounded, it took months to heal. Wounded, if you recall, in an attempt to help you.
Bam. Go Wesley.
Yeah.
Putting the foot down. The foot is down.
The foot is down. All the way.
Right there. Can you see it?
No, they can't.
It's right down there. No,
it's
don't.
audio recording.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? Wes makes the point, they argue for a bit about who's lost the mission or whatever.
Right.
Which is a euphemism for who knows what's right.
I mean, yes and no.
And what's the right thing to do about demons in general, I guess. Gunn tosses his keys to Wes, Cordy, and Fred, telling them to take his truck and that they won't stop them, which he is wrong about, but they do let Cordy go.
Right.
But only to go get Angel to bring him back here.
Yeah, this is when shit starts to really go off the walls, because Gio is not taking any distinctions over humans and demons at this point.
Well, he gets to that point. He's slowly coming to that point, and comes to that point a little harder here in a scene or two. Meanwhile, there's this snarful-looking demon over there, scared out of his gourd, going, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God." And he's sitting next to this other dude that looks like one of those Hellion demons, kind of.
Well, he looks inside out.
Yeah, which is kind of, and the Hellions just looked like they didn't have a face.
Actually, he looks like Lord Zed from the Power Rangers a bit to me.
Okay. He looks like one of those hell demons from that episode of Buffy where she's a waitress.
Oh, right. And
LA.
the dude got his face torn off.
I don't remember that, but
like the leader, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, anyway, I dubbed him the Harmless Hellion. Snarful Demon and the Harmless Hellion are sitting there, and Harmless Hellion tells him to shut up because they're not listening.
Yeah.
And cut back to the Hyperion,
where Cordy arrives. Cordy tells Angel about what's going on. She's worried that Angel is obviously walking into a trap.
It's a trap!
And he knows it. But he's got a plan, and he sends her off to the... Hold on. Let's see if I can read my own handwriting here.
The Transuding Furies.
Yeah, the Transuding Furies, who Lorne employs to keep the spell going on the club that makes it non-violent.
The Sanctorium spell.
Yeah.
Which keeps demon violence from happening, but not human violence. Bit of an oversight.
Yep.
So...
And Cordy's like, well, how do... Lorne paid them. They're not just going to shut it down on my word. And he's like, oh, just tell them I sent you. It's for me. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, you know them? No, I knew them.
In the biblical sense. Mm-hmm. Hey-o. And she's like, great. So then you can fight all 20 of them and still die. But Angel's confident that he's the main character of a TV show and he can outweigh the odds pretty easily.
Yeah. But most important moment, though, is the last line in this scene where they're just about to part and Cordy stops Angel and says, I told her she'd be safe with me.
Angel says, I know, and walks out. Yeah. That one got to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I know.
They're so worried about her. She's so precious. She's going to protect her.
She's so precious. Tiny little baby. Gotta take care of the tiny little baby. And
tiny little crazy mathematician.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be infantilizing her, but also that's what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, and
in a way, she's
innocent. She's an innocent.
Absolutely,
that's really what it comes down to.
And they're responsible for her.
Yeah,
they feel bad because this shit just keeps happening.
Right. And it sucks. Like that would suck so much.
Yeah. That's fucking terrifying, that kind of a situation. And this one's a little more real than most of the situations they get themselves into.
Yeah, it's people with guns.
Yeah.
Like, that happens in real life.
Yeah. So we cut back to Caritas, and it pleases me that Gio is a fucking awful singer.
Yeah. Singing fucking Wind Beneath My Wings. Oh, my God.
Which I feel like is a subtle jab at one of the things he said to Gunn earlier at the hideout. But Wesley is worried that they'll kill Angel. Gunn's like, no, they're going to make me do it.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, God. Whatever.
Good instincts there, Gunn.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what a cliche. But Gio shoots up the speaker because it squealed with feedback.
Yeah, how dare you?
No, you're just a bad singer. And also, don't stand in front of the fucking speaker with the microphone. That's how that happens.
And then, this is a great part. Lauren starts talking about what happened in Miami. Boy, does Lauren know really how to get under someone's fucking skin.
Oh, yeah.
He is really good at it. So much so, he's talking about what happened in Miami, how apparently somebody died because of Gio.
Well, he ran from Miami because he couldn't go back after what he did.
Yeah.
And she trusted him right up to the very end.
Yeah.
It's very cryptic.
Oh, it is.
It's like he never specifically says what happened, but the way he says it, you can piece it together.
Yeah.
It's a brilliantly written little moment.
I honestly think it was probably a moment where it was down between Gio and somebody else, and he ran and left someone for dead.
I get the idea that he killed some girl that trusted him, or left her for dead.
Ooh, and maybe he used her for bait.
Yeah, I mean, but was he fighting demons, or was it just some normal stupid shit?
Yeah, good point.
Could have just been a robbery.
I think it was probably demons, though, because he does mention early on, he asks Gunn, what do you think about the whole thing of, like, why demons and vampires congregate in places like L.A.?
In sunny places. Yeah, of all places. Okay, that's good evidence for that. Either way, it's cryptic as hell.
Yeah.
And we don't cut, but so the harmless hellion runs for the door.
Yep.
And they stop him and shove him up against the wall. Gio goes on a bit about how, like, really, you're protecting this fucking guy? He's a baby killer. You know what these demons do? They kill babies.
They eat them.
And then he argues that Gunn's the piece of shit for aiming a gun at Geo instead of the demons.
Well, yeah, because Gunn uses the demon trying to escape as a distraction to get a gun, and Gunn's got a gun!
Gun with a gun! It's finally happened. It hurts. I've got a headache. So Geo
it's like
does...
Inception.
What?
It's like Inception.
Yeah.
It's a gun within a gun within a gun.
Well, really only two, but sure. Geo does his little get-in-your-head game by accusing Gunn of already being a demon, or worse yet, wanting to be one, but they won't let him. And he makes up a fucking story on the spot about, oh, your sister must have refused to turn you, and that's when you killed her. It's like, okay, you're really reaching now, fuckface.
Right.
But
what vampire would be like, no, I'm not going to turn you.
yeah, right? Like, this isn't Anne Rice. This isn't even What We Do in the Shadows. They're not taking familiars. Gunn fires off his shotgun at the harmless hellion as he screams, "Shut up!" And to be fair, this motherfucker was over there muttering under his breath, asking for it like an idiot, like making shit up about how he lives in playgrounds and sucks kids dry and leaves them as husks. Because he's literally cornered. And, if every action movie ever has taught us anything, that's what you do when you're cornered. You talk shit.
Yeah, you goad them, maybe they'll take a swing and you can get away.
Yeah, maybe. Either that or they'll kill you and you will have died in a way that you controlled, not them. It's about control either way.
That sounds like a losing strategy.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, but it's a mental game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I suppose.
And we don't really see what happens to him after that, but Gunn shoots him in the chest, and I'm like, yeah, if that's bird shot, he'll be fine. If that's
but also,
a slug,
if he eats babies, then okay.
meh, whatever. Yeah. But also, I mean, how many demons go down with just a shot to the chest?
Right.
Not too many.
Yeah. Enter Angel.
I can hold a note for a long time. Actually, I can hold a note forever. But eventually, that's just noise. It's the change we're listening for. The note coming after and the one after that. That's what makes it music.
Angel has entered the chat.
Yeah, Lorne tries to proclaim that this is a sanctuary. Wow, did you really think that was going to work, Lorne? But then Angel enters, and he's like, nice shot. Am I next? Commercial break. Dramatic commercial break. Gunn was 100% right. Geo is a predictable little shit fucker.
Yep.
And he wants Gunn to kill Angel.
And Angel's trying to be accommodating and vamps out to, quote, make it easier for Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite understand Angel's play here.
Yeah, there's...
I mean, to be fair, Angel does know that the shotgun isn't going to do fucking shit to him.
Yeah, shotguns...
But you still probably don't want to get shot with one.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
It's at least, at the very least, highly inconvenient.
I think, again, it's the same mentality as when somebody who's being held up at gunpoint shoves their forehead into the barrel of the gun and says, do it! Do it! That kind of shit. Tough guy posturing.
Yeah.
Take control of the situation.
Although I don't think Angel's posturing.
And yeah, he's also got celerity.
Right.
So
he's probably fine.
He's going to be okay one way or another. But they don't necessarily know that.
No, and then this is when Gunn, he refuses to kill Angel, and he specifically says that he'll never be Angel's friend, but he won't kill Angel because he gets the mission. He's on mission.
Yeah, and just before that, Wesley makes the argument that Angel has a soul. I'm like, it's about time somebody brought that up, for fuck's sake. I'd given up on it. I'm just like, all right, so we're just not paying attention to that at all.
Also, specifically, I like how, because Geo's like, oh, so what? He has a soul. And
Wesley, that's what I was saying, is Wesley makes the point that Geo didn't have a soul, or the Angel didn't have a soul when he did his pleasure killing. Can Geo say the same? Nope.
Yeah.
Like, what's your excuse, kid? You just fucking kill, and you've got a soul.
Yep.
So...
And there's no way in hell with the kind of attitude that Gio has that there aren't plenty of innocent people dead due to recklessness.
Yeah, at least due to recklessness.
At least.
If not due to some twisted sense of what he thinks is right and wrong, which obviously is not trustworthy.
Definitely not.
Gunn throws down his gun. He chooses his side with Angel on the basis that he could never be friends with Angel because of what he is, but he has the mission, so there's that. Gio decides his next move is to make every human here prove that they aren't a demon lover, or he's going to kill them too. See, he's not above killing humans at all.
Before that, we do cut.
I didn't put any of the cuts in here for Cordelia talking to the sisters.
So real quick, we'll just go over Cordy with the sisters. Basically, she's trying to convince them that they need to drop the spell. And every fucking time she mentions Angel's name, they're like, Angel. And it comes out that apparently the reason that Cordy can't pay them to do anything is because she doesn't have the right biological equipment.
Nobody says that, but it's heavily implied.
It's implied enough to where I'm going with it.
She's like, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angel.
They're also floating.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're floaty. They're floaty ladies.
But anyway, back to the Carrot Tots.
He's gonna give them all a good hot dicking later in exchange for taking down the spell, and everything will be right as rain.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too bothered with that IOU.
Nope, he's like, ladies, I owe you one. You poor baby. Careful, you might lose a soul. God. So, yeah. Gio wants to make every human prove they're not a demon lover by taking a shot at Angel, I guess, or one of the demons at least, after, so start picking them off one by one. Whatever. Fred takes up the call to action. Gio gives her the crossbow, and she turns on him. And she's like, I'm sorry, Angel, but I want to survive. Or maybe I'll just put it right in your carotid artery, bitch.
I wrote down what she said because I fucking loved it. She turns the crossbow on Gio and says, I thought I might just shoot you in the throat instead. Now, if I pierce one of your carotid arteries, considering the temperature in here, because I think someone shot the thermostat, the blood loss is going to be heavy. And I couldn't quite get this line fully, but I think and there's a bettering for a chance. I'll puncture a vocal cord and you won't even be able to scream, but you'll want to when the blood loss to your brain results in a cerebral vascular event. That's a stroke. I wasn't trying to sound snooty. This is a great example of making a character menacing that really doesn't have a reason to be, but it is menacing just in the delivery.
Your intellect is menacing.
Yeah. I like it. It's fantastic. It's a great moment.
It was a great moment, and it shows that Fred she's gonna be able to handle herself.
Yeah, she's a bit more on the ball than she seems.
Yeah, and put some pressure on her. I mean, she did spend 5 years in a demon dimension.
Yeah,
surviving.
Yeah,
harsh circumstances.
Exactly.
Mind you, she wasn't just huddled up in a corner, scared the whole time.
But Angel doesn't want her to have to kill him. He talks her down. Gio ends up grabbing the crossbow.
Yeah. She stalls too long. She gets disarmed and pushed back towards Wesley. And around about that time, there's this magical burst in the room indicating to Angel that the spell has been lifted, and they fight!
Yep, he makes a quick mental note that he has to do some deep dicking later on.
I owe you, ladies. I got this. I'm going to put that in my calendar real quick. If you could just stop shooting at me. Gio is, of course, is insufferable of a fuckwit, yelling as usual, yelling his head off like an asshole.
He doesn't even fight. He's just fucking talking shit.
He's just yelling at everybody. Like, you guys are terrible. This is fucking stupid. I'm going back to Florida, blah, 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 blah. And the Snarfle Demon saves my personal life. His skin hatches open, and he becomes 3 times bigger, and he looks like a big praying mantis demon or something.
Yeah.
And bites Geo's head off. Literally. Yeah. Like, fucking, like Yoshi.
Yeah.
Nom.
Blim. Blim.
And then shits it out in an egg. No. But Rondell takes Snarfle down with 3 shotgun blasts, which I think is bullshit. But, you know, he did get real big and scary all of a sudden, so.
I mean.
Can't blame him too much.
That's like, he painted a nice big bullseye on his chest there.
Kinda.
I'm going to become the biggest, scariest thing in the room, and I'm going to eat the head of your friend.
And we hear his body thud to the ground as kind of evidence that it didn't look like the shotgun blasts were really doing anything to him.
Right.
But I guess they did, because they're still shotgun blasts. And the important part is Geo's fucking dead.
Yes.
Dead.
Dead.
Super dead.
Well beyond mostly dead.
Almost certainly. How can you be nearly headless? Oh, he's full headless.
He's full headless.
You never go full headless except when you go full headless. And he went full headless.
And he's not coming back.
No. Hopefully not. Cut to outside after the action.
Yep. Wesley's putting Fred in a cab, and Gunn's parting with what's left of his crew.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes and Gunn kind of have a moment.
if you could call it that.
It starts off as if they're gonna have a moment.
It starts out plenty amenable.
Yeah.
Nice enough. And then Wesley's like, by the way, if you ever withhold information from me again, I'll fucking fire you. I'll fire you so hard, your head will spin, and you'll never work anywhere again. You hear me? Not once. You'll be working at a grocery store, and then I'll come in there, and I'll make them fire you. I'll get a job as your goddamn general manager at the grocery store just to fire you. You won't even be able to eat. Yeah. He's a
bit angry.
It's a very white threat.
Yeah.
There's no personal harm other than, that of capitalism.
Well,
you might as well have threatened to sue him.
Here's the thing.
Honestly,
though.
I think he should have fired him.
No, here's the thing though. It is a big deal threat because if nothing else, Gunn has proven this night that he is on the mission. The mission matters to him more than anything. And now, especially with everything that happened with Rondell and Rondell's crew, Angel Investigations is the only way he gets to fight.
Maybe.
Otherwise, he's on his own.
I mean, and I think him and Rondell are still cool. And now with Geo out of the picture, he should still be able to go back to the gang. I don't know. Maybe we'll see later, but for now, it seems like tensions are high.
Yeah.
Yeah, on both sides. And Gunn also has a small chat with Angel where he apologizes for what he said about not being his friend, but Angel's like, "No, I get it, and you meant it. It's okay."
No, the last 2 lines. Gunn says, "No matter what else, I think I proved that you can trust me when I could have killed you and I didn't." And Angel replies, "No, you'll prove I can trust you when the day comes you have to kill me, and you do."
Yeah. That's like the fucking brutiest thing he could have said.
Right.
So fucking dramatic.
He's a drama queen.
Dude, such a drama queen. Like, come on, bro. All right, whatever. You do you.
Yeah.
Gerarg.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Nights I shall walk the earth. Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
Well, how'd you feel about this episode, Rex?
I actually liked it.
I like it better now than I thought I was going to like it when I started watching it.
Yeah.
Honestly, earlier this afternoon, I sat down to watch it, and maybe it's just because I was tired as fuck because I woke up earlier than I wanted to and couldn't get back to sleep. But I was just angry for the whole first 11 minutes of this episode. I was like, this is shit. This is bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck everyone. Fuck this episode. I was like, this is going to be the shortest episode of Ale with Angel ever. Because I'm just going to be like, bullshit happens. The end.
And I think it could have been that. But I think they did a pretty decent job of making it matter.
Yeah.
Like, if this had been less about what it was and more about, Gunn's hurt fucking feelings, I think it wouldn't have worked. But because it was about, no, you guys lost the mission. You guys lost the goal. The goal is to do good, protect people, defend against evil, that sort of thing. I think if they had gone even a slightly different route, it wouldn't have worked.
So I don't get me wrong. I think they brought it together, but there's a couple of ways that they got there that felt a bit obtuse.
Oh God, yeah.
Like the way that Gunn multiple times was like, but he's just a demon. Why do we need to investigate that? Fucking stupid. The way Angel was bullying Merle. Fucking, I felt a little better about that by the time we were done discussing it.
Right.
But it still felt out of place.
I think the attitude that Gunn had out the gate would have been better if he hadn't expressed that attitude before meeting Geo. I think if he had gone back to the crew and that interaction had happened, and then after that he was like, he's just a demon, I think that would have tracked a lot better. But because when he first showed up at Merle's, he's like, why are we doing this? It's like there didn't seem to be enough motivation for that. And I think that's what threw that off. It didn't feel like it had a strong narrative as much because he started off with the same exact attitude that Rondell and Geo and all them had.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think it would have been stronger if he seemed to not have that kind of attitude, then met up with them, and then when he came back, he had that attitude. Because that would have kind of solidified his guilt for leaving the crew.
I can kind of see that. But I also think it makes sense that he saw the error of his ways when faced with it, and is like, oh, that does make them sound stupid, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that is a stupid argument of me to be making. But I think I agree with what you're saying. That would have been better.
It would have been a stronger narrative.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to, I think.
Yeah. And then, but still, how's he come back around to, agreeing with Wesley about the Shades of Grey?
I think it's because he realizes that just because he feels some sense of guilt and of the lost loyalty to his old crew, he sees that they've lost the mission. And loyalty or not, that's what matters. They don't have the mission anymore. And because he's, it would solidify more about him being on the mission and he's not doing this to make friends. He's not doing this he's not even really doing it to be a hero so much as to follow the mission.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I guess we could say we got some character growth out of Gunn. This was very much a Gunn episode.
Yeah.
But it feels like growth, like he kind of already should have been there in terms of understanding the Shades of Grey.
Well,
so what's the real growth that we got out of him here?
And I think they've just had an issue with Gunn in general in this area where it's like, they're like, oh, he's had growth. And then a couple episodes later, we get a Gunn episode, and it's like, no, he actually didn't have a growth before, and he's got to do it again. It's like he keeps doing this same short character growth arc over and over again.
Yeah,
it's
2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Right. I think it's just a sign of, the entirety of last season, the writers obviously had no fucking clue what to do with him.
And I feel like they rely too heavily on needing an instigative character in the background, and they're like, well, we'll just have Gunn do that.
Right.
But then they don't worry enough about Gunn's canonical past.
Exactly.
And characterizations. What would he actually do, and they sacrifice that for this other plot that they care more about.
Now, I do think that they will figure it out, and Gunn will get a much more satisfying, like, character development.
I hope so.
But it's very obvious that they still don't quite know what the fuck to do with him.
Mm-hmm. And I think in terms of character growth, I think we saw some good character growth from Wesley. He's really coming into his own as the CEO of Angel Investigations. Fred, even Fred, we saw her stand up for herself even in a terrifying situation when we otherwise would have expected her to stay cowering the whole time. So we see a glimmer of hope for her coming out of this funk that she's in. That's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, she didn't freeze, and that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like, she acted. She even tried to get the upper hand in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's fucking miles ahead of where she was.
And I think the biggest difference, the whole difference, is probably she has friends.
Yep.
Powerful friends, competent friends who make her feel safe even in dangerous situations.
Yeah. And they're legitimately good friends. They're not just surface level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least they're not
super friends.
They're not just surface level. They're becoming deeper than that.
Absolutely. Yeah. They all love each other. Group dynamic, character development. That's great. Still trying to find that last little bit of there's got to be something else that Gunn actually. I guess there's a little bit about his sister. I think he got over that a little bit.
Yeah.
He feels, at least with Rondell anyway. Rondell, I think, helped him heal a bit over his guilt about not being able to save his sister.
Yeah.
So he feels useful again, at least, whether it's to Angel Investigations
and I
or
think
the gang.
he's over the guilt of walking away from the crew. I think he's over that.
I would be after Geo.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
But he maintained his connection with Rondell, and that's important. Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that. If anybody has anything to add that, give us a call. 269-743-0783. What's your quote of the day?
I am going with Fred's whole threat because it's rambly and it's I love it. It's just great. It's a great snapshot of her as a character.
Excellent.
I'm not going to repeat it.
I think you read it once during the episode.
Yep.
So, all right. That's fine. I'll accept that.
What's your quote of the day?
I'm going to go, I think, with Wesley's line. If you don't mind, I'd prefer a clean kill. The last time I was merely wounded. It took months to heal. Wounded, if I recall, in an attempt to help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam! He owned that fucker.
Yeah, it's subtle.
Yeah.
It's subtle.
Not that this guy seems to get a lot of subtle nuance out of anything ever, really.
Definitely not.
But, close second being Lauren. Really, just anybody that stood up to Geo.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Fuck Rondell.
Yeah.
Jeez. Get your fucking house together, bro.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, I think this has been another episode of Ale with Angel, everybody. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. You can call it X if you want to, but I don't give a shit. You can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. That's where we do most of our posting. If you want to support us financially, you can buy some of our merch. Head on over to www.beerwithbuffy.com/shop. We've got t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, etc. If you want to support us financially and you don't want junk, head on over to patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. And we have a series of perks, one of them in which we will name a cat for you. Or you can just buy us a beer, whatever. Don't forget to review us on iTunes. That's one of the best ways you can really help us. Once we get to 75 reviews, I think we're at 63. We're going to give away another hoodie. We're going to randomly draw a name of it out of a hat, but only from people who have written reviews, not just giving us the stars. We love stars, but you're not eligible to win the hoodie if you don't write a review.
Mostly it's just because we have no idea who the fuck you are if you only give us stars.
Exactly. And if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at beerwithbuffy@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail if you have any questions, comments, or concerns you'd like to vocalize. You can also text us at 269-743-0783. Big shout out to JJ Treadway for all our opening, closing, and transitional music. This has been Ale with Angel. I'm Josh.
I'm Rex. Have a good night.
Keanu Speed, Rex.
Reeves be with you. Whoa.
You are the slayer. Lives depend upon you. I make allowances for your years, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
You are the slayer.
Go ahead. Prepare me.
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on.
By appealing to your common sense. Werewolves, incubi, succubi, everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day.
One gal in all the world.
Common sense.
One gal in all the
Common
world.
sense. It was a bit, British, wasn't it?
Wait, what have we done? Why are we watching this?